DACAMERA has a really special opening night planned this season on September 21st, and it's called Bon Appetit. And so I am thrilled to have with me today to talk about Bon Appetit, Robert Del Grande, world-renowned chef, and DACAMERA board member and longtime friend and colleague. So on this concert, we have, it's kind of a French buffet in a way. We have music of Ravel, music of Poulenc, and a very special piece called Bon Appetit, which is a staged performance, a little one-woman opera with ensemble, based on the TV programs of Julia Child, these iconic cooking shows. And Robert, when you hear the name Julia Child, what does it make you think of?
Yeah, well, at first I would think of Julia as the legend, you know, but now I think of her as my friend. She was my friend in the end. I met her as sort of the legend, and I was sort of Julia, how are you? And then we worked together, you know, and I got to know her, and we could have a glass of wine and talk about things. So she was marvelous.
Did you watch the TV shows before you met her? I mean, did you know the shows?
I'd read the book, every page of the book, backwards and forwards, so you had this sense of, oh my God, Julia. But when you got to know her, she was, you know, like just a regular person. She wanted to be a regular person.
Well, she's such a strong personality, and here she is, this American woman who goes to France, you know, is not intimidated by the French, or manages not to be, and goes to actual cooking school, and then brings this all back into the American kitchen and is saying to, you know, American people at home, you too can make coq au vin and boeuf bourguignon.
Yes. And she was very big on, every time we worked together, she would always start out, what are we going to teach them today? You know, that was always her opening. So I always was careful to be sure I had what we're going to teach them. So she was very educationally minded. I don't think she ever lost that. And she sincerely believed that everyone could do it.
That's a really amazing thing. And one of the fun things about this musical work is that he captures that thing about anyone can do it, which means it's okay to make a mistake, you know? It's not this perfect formal thing, as anyone who cooks knows. But Julia Child had such an amazing personality that she did, as you mentioned, you know, become parodied by these other people. And the show was entertaining even if you didn't like to cook.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone has done it better than she did in terms of being serious about the educational part and being entertaining at the same time. And she always, during the TV shows, she was very strict about that, what does she say? The one filming we were doing, because she would change these little things as she went along, but one was, this is not a show for frou-frou cooks. That's what she would always tell me. It's not for frou-frou cooks. And I had to figure out what did that exactly mean. She
and make sure you were not one.
Yeah, and when I was like, I'm gonna write that down. So it sounded very strict, but then she could be very funny.
Yeah.
Like we were talking once, she said, I don't understand why more people don't cook. You know, that's what she was like. I said, Julia, I think just they're scared it's not going to turn out right. You know, that's their fear, you know. And she says, oh, no. She said, it's never so bad you can't eat it. You know?
One of the wonderful things about the way the composer and his librettist approached this piece was they went right to the TV episodes. And in this musical work, it's all about making a chocolate cake. Today we're going to make a chocolate cake. And in the course of this musical piece, you see a whole show, the chocolate cake gets made, and we have performing Abigail Fischer, who's this remarkable dramatic soprano. Last year she appeared on the DACAMERA series in Vienna 1900 in the Garden of Dreams. And we're having it staged by Ned Candy, who's the director of Opera Memphis. And so there will be on stage a whole kitchen set up. We have the remarkable Imani Winds here from New York, who are the leading, in many ways, the leading touring wind quintet. And then we have members of the Houston community, faculty members from Rice, UT Austin, visiting percussionists. It's a big ensemble. For the opera itself, it's the winds and piano and Abigail Fischer. And then we have this very special Bon Appetit following the performance.
A little dinner afterwards.
Yeah, tell us just briefly about what that is.
Well, I thought it would be interesting, sort of following the piece, to have a dinner that was sort of inspired by Julia, the things that she liked the most, you know. So I can imagine the main course might be sort of some beef bourguignon, would seem, because she
That's
loved,
exactly what I thought of.
She loved those sort of very traditional dishes done the right way. And And I thought we should do a little sort of Parisian, like pâté to start. I went to Julia's house once. She said, come over for a drink, you know. So we went over her house and she put out a little a bowl of cashew nuts, and then this little pâté with some crackers, and then some Cheetos, which I thought was hysterical because she didn't want to be an elitist. But I thought Julia loved pâté, terrines, and so forth. So a very Parisian kind of style dinner. Much like Julia being in Paris.
But you don't see boeuf bourguignon, you don't see the traditional French stuff on menus so much anymore. Do you think it's going to come back?
Everything great always comes back. It has to go out of favor for a while for people to really kind of go back and say, wow, that's really a great dish. But it's a great dish. You know? And I think at this time of year too, it'll sort of be the fall, beginning of the fall season. It'll be kind of fun.
Yeah, great way.
But it's
to
one
kick
that Julia
off.
really wanted done right, you know, and fully represented in the book, where the recipes were several pages long, not just a short.
Yeah, I have the copy that my mother had, and it's filled with stains, and the binding is broken, and yeah.
And
I think a lot of people have a copy of the book like that.
And then I think for dessert we should do chocolate mousse.
Yes.
You know, something.
Yes.
Just classic stuff.
Sounds great.
Timeless thing.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, Robert.
Thank you.